Today, we are going to talk about how do you manage your fleet from Tahiti or just remotely. I will give you a great breakdown of how to do this. I've done this twice now in my life, currently doing it. Before I get into that, click below, grab the 5 things you must do before starting a car rental business. Lots of great information in there. That also includes the car share growth guide, which gives you a city by city breakdown of which car share platform is strongest in your area by zip code. Lots of great information in there. Also, don't forget to give this channel a like and a subscribe. I always appreciate that. Let's talk about this. So you're ready to get out to Tahiti and you want to manage your car fleet remotely. Well, it doesn't have to be Tahiti, but it could be South America. It could be anywhere, really. I currently manage a fleet that is based in Boston. I live in Miami. This is the second time I've done this. When I was in Getaround's pilot program, I managed a fleet up in North Jersey all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. This is possible. This is not necessarily a location-centric business that requires you on the ground all the time if you set it up correctly. And we're going to talk about today, how do you do that? Let's say you already have cars, all right? You've got 4 or 5 cars, maybe 10 cars. Great. You need a staging area just to bring cars in, send them out from. Maybe you can even rent from there depending on the situation and the parking setup. I really like a staging area that is typically a strip mall parking lot. I like a nice big Walmart parking lot, maybe Target, maybe, Hobby Lobby, I don't know, something like that, depending on where you are. But I like a nice big strip mall parking lot with minimal cameras on the light posts. That's my favorite, when they have very few cameras. It's important to have a staging area just to kind of put cars. You can rent them from there depending on how many cars you have, or you can just use that as a staging area to move them out to other parking areas. Now you may say, well, what if they get towed? Yeah, they may get towed on occasion. Not a big deal. Tows typically cost $200, $250 to get them out. Not the worst thing. It's not that big of a deal if you're paying that in a parking garage each month. That's actually where it gets really expensive. So you don't want to really have to do that. You want to avoid that as much as possible. So now that you have a staging area, we need to find official parking. Depending on how many cars you have, you can leave them in that staging area. Typically, if you have 4 or 5 cars, you can probably leave them in that area if it's a solid area for rentals, and they will get rented, and those cars will be in and out throughout the week, all day long, on the weekends especially, and no one's really going to think much of it if it's 4 or 5 cars. Now, if you have 10, 15, 20 cars, that's a different situation. As always, I've said this many times on this channel, I like to be creative when it comes to parking. If you know somebody that has an open field, an open lot in a busy area, or just there's a few spots open within a city somewhere and you pay them $50 a month to just park the car there, that is ideal. Always, always, always try to be creative in this regard. Do the best you can to not stick a car in a parking garage that's going to cost you $250 to $300 a month. That overall is last case scenario. You can do that. If you're looking for a garage like that, a great resource is Getaroundparking.com. They have a partnership with Mobility Places, and that is a really, really good resource to find parking in your area. You either want to find parking in a strip mall or in a lot that is just open, or somewhere that you know the owner and they can put the car in the area or on the street, whatever. Negotiate the lowest price you can. Challenge yourself to be creative. I promise it'll be worth it. You're gonna save a lot of money. In this business, cash flow is king, and you gotta really be as cheap and frugal as possible. So now that you have that set up, how do we manage this? We have to remove ourselves out of the equation so that you just have to look at your laptop. Now you need a ground captain. How do you find a ground captain? I would recommend looking on TaskRabbit.com. TaskRabbit.com has lots of great people out there. You can hire a few people to come out and clean the cars, turn them over, and over time, you'll probably find someone who just starts getting your business and is really good. And obviously you can see if they're doing a good job of cleaning. If there's any complaints on Getaround, you will be alerted. If there's any complaints on Turo, you will definitely be alerted. You'll be kicked off probably within a week. So the system now on all the car share platforms gives you almost real-time alerts with regards to any complaints about maintenance or cleanliness. You typically want to find people that are really good with cleaning cars or just have some kind of cleaning background or automotive background. Anytime I see a guy that's got like experience working in parking garages, managing cars, stuff like that, I love that. That's really good. It's a really good sign that this is going to be a good fit for them. So over time, once you get someone set up on the ground and they have a routine and they're regularly cleaning cars, you will definitely have a system set up in place where you can remove yourself. You don't have to be there, and they are just cleaning those cars on the regular, and things are just moving along nicely. Lastly, I would recommend to keep yourself more organized and keep this situation organized as you grow. I would definitely recommend this if you have 10 or more cars. You need fleet management software. Now, what do I recommend? I personally recommend Fleetio. What you can do in the software, which is really nice, is that the cleaners can pull open the app within Fleetio and log an inspection and cleanliness report very simply and very quickly. So they pull open the app, they take pictures of everything once it's done, and often running they go, and it shows up on your desktop computer, so you can get an inspection and cleanliness report on the Fleetio console, and you can check that from Tahiti. So I would definitely recommend having that so you can get a full organized report of all your cars and the inspection reports. I like to check them once a week. And from there, you have a very nicely organized system ready for you to scale. Because once you have all this tightened up and you have this all nicely put together, you can scale and just keep adding more and more cars into the system and into the machine. And more money, baby, more money, and you're sipping that pina colada straight from Hawaii. And that's what we want. So overall, this is really kind of the framework of how to set up a scaled system. This is basically what I do right now. I'm not sipping pina coladas from home, but I do manage my system in this way. I hope you find this helpful. Drop any comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And before I go, click below, grab the 5 things you must do before starting a car rental business. I will catch you in the next episode. Thank you.